Welcome to Popcorn Planet. I am Andy Signor with an update to Ray Fisher. You don't know who Ray Fisher is? That's okay. A lot of people don't. He played Cyborg in Justice League. We call him Yay Fisher here on the channel. And honestly, I wouldn't continue reporting about him if he didn't publicly slander Jody and I. He made this personal. And honestly, it changed then because he proved he'll lie to get what he wants. And so I'm looking at this whole story with a new lens as he's called out director Joss Whedon. He's called out John Berg and Geoff Johns at DC. And honestly, I had his back in the beginning. Go play the tape. When this came out, I was like, damn, this must be something spicy. Something definitely went down if you're going to put your whole career on the line to call him, all the things that he did. And so we've been waiting. And then it was, well, I can't say because NDAs, which was BS. We've had a lawyer come on and debunk that. You can actually go watch that video up here. Look, the facts are, if you are speaking the truth, you can't be sued for slander or defamation. You just can't be. And so that's the reality. So he keeps saying he's afraid to tell the truth, but then he still talks broadly and generally. So there's a new tweet that came out, and I see a lot of support he's getting from DC fans. A lot of people standing with Ray Fisher. Look, that's your right, I guess. But I'm going to be that guy who will show potentially the other side of this story because no one else really wants to, and I'm not afraid anymore to do it. Not only did he tweet it, he put it on Instagram because he really wanted people to see this because he likes to do that. But here is the latest accusation. During the LA reshoots for Justice League, Geoff Johns summoned me to his office to belittle and admonish me and my agents' attempts to take grievances up the proper chain of command. He then made a thinly veiled threat to my career. This behavior cannot continue. A is greater than E, which is his slogan, accountability is greater than entertainment. Now, look, context here matters. And Yay Fisher, as I've gotten more and more information about the sort of the background of what's happening, there were clearly creative differences. Cyborg was a character in this movie that had a much bigger role. No one can deny that. And then Warner Brothers came in, Joss Whedon, Geoff, all these people came in, and they slashed that film up. And I'm all for Zack getting his cut of the movie. I'm all for it because I do think they took advantage of Zack. They took advantage of a tragedy. They took advantage of the fact that Marvel was seemingly doing better, and they really wanted to do that, which Zack didn't want to do. And so they went in and just used the tragedy that Zack was going through at the time to just take it over. And honestly, I don't like that they did that. And I'm glad they're finally sort of allowing Zack to finish this because it's clearly important to him. And I support all of that. And I was glad that Ray Fisher was going to get this opportunity to be in this movie again and actually finally get his part out there. But Ray's doing something right now. Ray is scorched earth. Ray is so angry and so hung up about this missed opportunity of Cyborg being in the movie. And now with the, Snyder, release the Snyder Cut performing, I honestly believe Black Lives Matter. If you read his feed, you can tell it's important to him too. He's feeling powerful. He's feeling mighty. And so he put some accusations out there. And when I first heard them, I thought, okay, all right, well, let's take this seriously and let's hear what they are. But now he just keeps coming back with more broad allegations. So you got to remember as we look at this with the context, he mentions his agents. Okay, look. I read this and I could read it as if, oh my God, something horrendous happened on that set, and they went to talk to him and they, were told they were complaining, trying to go up the chain of command to get this properly fixed, and no one did anything. And if that's the case, I need to hear what happened. Until I hear about some like physical abuse or something really awful, I need to hear it. The problem is like on a set, there's a lot of disagreements, a lot of creative differences. The last Airbender guys just left due to creative differences. Creative differences is a common thing in the industry. And as I was saying on Jody's stream, which you can go watch our yin and yang, we got into this in much more detail. And I reacted to it originally there, but I wanted to give you my own take because I think this is an important story to cover. Look, creative differences happens a lot. And those last Airbender guys, I think they handled it with grace. They came out, they said why they weren't doing anymore. They, made it clear like this is not the vision we had, and then they left. They didn't drop any shade or tea or these people suck or they didn't listen to us and I didn't get what I wanted. No, they just said, look, this is my thing. I walked away. I respect that, and I respect the way they handled it. And that's usually how people in this industry do it. They don't drop the tea. They don't drop the reasons of, oh, we disagreed on all this and why, and they were wrong. And so the reality is, I sense from the things I've heard, there was a lot of just anger, emotional stuff of people making fun of Zack, people not liking Zack's vision, and I understand why Snyder fans are upset about that. But Ray, I think, had even more emotional reasons to be upset because his whole character, which he was very proud of and excited to do, constantly thanking Chris Terrio and Zack Snyder because of the role, it was cut out of the movie. So when I read this, again, I'm sorry, but I need more information, because when I read this, Geoff Johns summoned him into his office to belittle and admonish him and his agents' attempts to take grievances up the proper chain of command. A grievance. It's a weird word. Not to stop harassing or abusive behavior on set. Grievances that he and his agent had to take it up the proper chain of command, because from my guess, he's fighting with Joss. Joss is completely disrespecting Ray on set, probably facts, and Ray's pissed. But the reality is, Ray's a nobody. He's a nobody, guys. Now, I know that seems like harsh, but the fact is that's how Hollywood works. You don't just get to listen to every actor on the set and rechange the movie to what the actors want. That's not how Hollywood works. Movie making is a team effort. But the studios and the producers, they're the ones who are in charge and putting the money on the line. That's what it's about. The actors are hired players to do the job. And if you don't like the job, quit the job. Do the work or quit. If you don't like it, quit. That's the reality, right, of what you're at. And so maybe he couldn't quit. Maybe there was a legal problem that would have caused a lot more headache for him if he had quit. But it's hard to not read this tweet and take some of that emotion into this. How can you not read that this could also have been, hey, I went up to Geoff Johns called me because I'd been complaining that Joss has completely butchered my character. My agents and I are unhappy. That was not the movie we were supposed to do. That was not the movie that was shot. Why is the studio and Joss changing this? This isn't right. And Joss is probably keeps telling him, dude, do your job. Enough is enough. Joss is being paid to be the bad guy to just get it done. Listen to the Warner Brothers. Whether you like Warner Brothers or not, they're in charge. Now, the issue is he labeled them abusive. That's where everything changes. What does that mean? Being a jerk isn't necessarily abusive. That's the problem I have with all this. Everyone is just painting this into a very, very dark, dangerous place where this could have just been creative differences. This could have been Joss just being a jerk on set, not liking Zack's movie, saying it out loud, telling Ray, dude, say booyah. Come on, man. Why do you keep arguing with me every take? Just say booyah. I don't want to say booyah. That could have been abusive to Ray, right? That could have been what we're talking about here. Until Ray plays his full cards out, I'm sorry, I can't accept it. And I especially can't accept it when he just went out and tweeted that I'm a racist or that Jodie's transphobic. Those aren't true. They're not true. And then everyone comes, well, yeah, but what about when Jodie did this? No. It's about what he tweeted that tens of thousands of people shared. And then suddenly, and the industry people suddenly label us as those two things. That's what it's about. You don't get to what about to the next thing. No, Ray's got to apologize for the things he tweets. If he wants to apologize and say, yeah, look, I was wrong in this instance. Jodie didn't say gay Fisher. He said yay Fisher. Now I understand my apologies. I still don't like Jodie for this, and this. He's allowed to do that, but he's got to apologize for what he said that was incorrect. He's got to apologize for implying I'm a racist, which he did by retweeting something else, mentioning my name, saying that I'm racist. Those aren't cool to do. There was nothing racist about what I've said ever about this issue. I've asked questions. And then when we started asking questions, that's when Ray started blocking, showing up, and then started retweeting nasty stuff he saw about us, saying the trolls don't get to him. I think they do. Yay. I think they do. And that's why it's all disingenuous to me. It's all hypocritical. And watching all of these people just stand by him, #BorgLife. It is, this is great. Resistance is futile. Just assimilate to whatever Ray tells you to do. Follow it. #SheepLife, man. Thank you for speaking up. I believe Ray. Get him, Ray. Yeah, Ray. I was wondering. Yeah, good job. Thanks for speaking out. We support you. Such conduct towards Borg is unacceptable. Standing up for what's right. You were right. The movie they released was a travesty. Cannot wait to see the movie you were supposed to be in on HBO. Can't believe you had to tolerate such abuse. Abuse being that he got cut out of a movie Guys, that's not abuse. You ask why I keep talking about this story and why I'm up on Ray and people trying to say I'm a jerk. It's because, Ray, you are doing damage here. I'm hearing it. I'm hearing other studios. I've heard this. People will say whatever, but I've heard this from reputable sources. Cyborg was in the Flash script. Cyborg then became less in the Flash script. And now Cyborg has been written out of the Flash script. That's what's happening. He knows it. And he's deciding, you know what, I don't care. And he has that choice. That's his right. But my God, man, what are you doing? How? Imagine this. And then he made a thinly veiled threat to my career. Yeah, imagine if Geoff, because we haven't heard his side of things, what if Geoff was like, dude, you're really difficult on set. Like, say booyah. That's what the character says. You can't keep fighting with us in every step of the way. No one in town's going to want to work with you if you do that. You could have taken that as a thinly veiled threat, correct? Against your career. Words matter. The way you say things matter. So I'm sorry, Ray, but since you got caught lying about me and Jody to just try and push us out of the way because you don't pay attention to the trolls, liar. Like, now I can't believe anything you said, and that's really sad because I wanted to. I genuinely wanted to believe you. I would have loved to have a conversation with you. Well, let's have a conversation. But you don't seem to want to take questions that aren't anybody #BorgLife that will support and just follow you down this path. The problem and the reason why Jody and I and others are frustrated with you, Ray, because I know you watch, and I hope he actually watches this, because, Ray, the reason we are giving you trouble is because these are serious allegations, and you aren't giving us specifics. Now, look, you don't have to do anything. You can do what you're doing, but I'm sorry, it's important to explain what the abuse was. And talk to a lawyer, please. I'm sure you have. If you can speak the truth, that is not defamatory. Now, you need to prove the truth, potentially, and that might be troubling for you, and that might be hard for you, but the reality is, I'm sorry, why hasn't anyone else on set had your back? Not a single league member has come forward to get involved in this heat. Why? Gal Gadot is very vocal about this kind of stuff. She came out against Brett Ratner. She does not stay back and when people are doing the wrong thing. So I'm sorry, was she there? Why isn't she doing what you're doing? Is it maybe because what you're doing is a little bit of an overstep and troubling? And maybe if you are gathering evidence and there's something I don't know, maybe you should have waited until you could actually give it to us instead of this weird teasers you keep dropping. Yeah, stay tuned and see how I was abused. Hey guys, don't worry. BorgLife, accountability is entertainment. You're making this an event for yourself. Who does that? That's so weird, man. If you were abused, we want to know. The people who are abusing need to be called out immediately so they don't abuse anybody else. You're sitting there with these broad strokes, and it's dangerous, dude. That's why we're upset with you. And because you're slandering us, because you're just mad because we're asking questions. It all started with your barber. And I've heard that in Pinewood Studios, you brought a guy in who you assumed you were just going to be able to get credit for. But that's not how productions work. That doesn't mean they're racist. It just means there's protocols, right? There are already makeup people that they hired that have the contract to get the credit, right? There's always more to the story, and you may not have had it all, and that's why some of these people perhaps thought you were difficult or a diva. And honestly, seeing some of the stuff as it's continued to come out, I can see both sides of this, man. So anybody calling you as a diva, I need to see proof otherwise. Just because you're nice on your Twitch streams and, in interviews to your fans doesn't mean that's how you are in private or on set when you disagree with somebody. I'd like to see how you handled the situation. That's the reality, right? So if you don't want all these questions and you don't want all this heat and this trouble in town, which I've seen you tweet, you're potentially ruining your career, and I think you are. If you just keep teasing this and calling big people out without evidence, that's shady, man. That's not cool. I can't have your back then. And I'm shocked so many people are having your back. Put up or shut up at this point. It's like if you were to say something and then you wanted to back out and say, look, I don't want to, it's none of my, you know what? This is my story. I don't want to share it yet. Okay. But you keep teasing it. And then you keep giving us a little bit ooh, stay tuned. You're offering teasers to it all. Why? Write out a blog. Go do an article in a magazine. Put it out in the world if these people need to be called out. Nothing you're saying here proves anything. And we as people and as fans, even if it's a celebrity, shouldn't just buy what we're reading as if it's all fact. There's always more than one side to a story. There's always two sides. Sometimes there's three sides. Their side, the other side, and the truth. And the reality is that's why we got to be better as making sure we're reading evidence. We're seeing examples. We're getting more to the story. We hear both sides. Then we can start making a determination who's closer to the truth. That's the problem here. So look, man, I would love to solve all this. I wish you would talk and clarify this. We all want to be on your side, but this is shady. I don't like this anymore. And that's why this is a theme here on the channel. I'm going to keep calling out because I know a lot of people don't want to and they think we're being jerks. But I'm sorry. This is dangerous. And until you were ready to tell us, then stop teasing it. And if you got something to share, what are you waiting for? These people are still out there doing stuff. What is going on? You're gathering other examples of stories because he didn't do it to you? Because it made it sure like he was doing it to you. Share your story before you keep relying on others. Let's hear your story, Ray. What actually happened? What did he say in the office? What was the threat? Come on, man. Let's hear it. What do you guys think? Am I being crazy? I don't understand why he can't give us more information. And don't give me NDAs. Why wouldn't this fall under an NDA? How is this allowed? But saying the specific thing he said wouldn't have been allowed. Come on. You can say that he made a thinly veiled threat, but you can't say what the threat was? What's the difference? How would an NDA stop him from saying what the threat is? This just screams based off of, as we said, go check out Jody's stream, Yin Yang. This just screams as a petty guy who can't get over the fact that he was cut out of a movie and hasn't worked really since. He did True Detective, and he did Justice League, and he did BVS. And he's not getting calls. He's not working. He's left stewing about this. And I can relate to that. As someone who was let go and do it, I'm still sometimes stewing. But the way I'm trying to get through is focusing on the next thing, building the next thing, right? Moving on, talking, building this channel. Ray, focus on other stuff, man. Enough already. Like, tell us or move on. Are you going to do it at Fandom too? Like, you're going to take the heat off all that to sort of still call out these people that didn't like Zach? Look, I've heard some stuff. It sounds like they were complete jerks on set. I believe it. But is that that's abusive? This is dangerous, man. That's why we need to know the words, because there are actually abusive people. And we need to make sure, is that what you actually meant, or this was just creative differences and someone who was a jerk? Because there's a lot of jerks in Hollywood, but that doesn't mean you get to cancel them and push them out of studios. A lot of people we like are jerks. Steve Jobs, notorious jerk. A lot of really good geniuses have been jerks. It is what it is. So I don't know, man. Ben Affleck has been called a jerk numerous times. I mean, what are we doing here? Now somebody who's a jerk on set deserves to be forced out. Hashtag I stand with Ray Fisher. Come on, man. Some sane people, please hit me up in the comments or on social media. Tell me I'm not going crazy. Thank you guys so much for watching. I promise more fun stuff is coming. I've posted a lot of non-drama stuff, so go check all that stuff too. Thank you guys who've been watching. Be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll be back with more content soon. See you, everybody.